Morning all, how are we all doing? Morning Christian, Peter, Ian, Danny, JC, Outro, Seymour. Seymour, Euro, US dollar? Seymour, Euro, US dollar. Is that like Seymour Butts? Grateful Buster, morning. From SoCal, morning Gregors, Robert, Virginia, AZ, how are we all doing? Everybody still alive? Just about. Right, let's kick off with news. Everyone smash that like button. Yes. Thumbs up. Morning, Philip. John, taking a break from gold. Have you been killed by gold, Seymour? Nasty gold. Don't like gold. Right. So, as you can see here, yen weakens to 149 per dollar for the first time since October. So if we have a quick look at US dollar yen, we are now up, spiked up above yesterday's high this morning on our way to that 150 number, which is achievable, I'd like to say today, but probably not. But anyway, it's 200 ADR. It can get there. So we're getting really close to that intervention level from October last year, which is what they're talking about. So we had 3 interventions last year, 145, 150, and 145 again. That is the October intervention they're talking about. We're getting very, very close to it now. This US dollar is still rallying hard. Japan raises view on corporate profits in September for the first time. So all going well in Japan, which is good. I'm just going to see if there's anything mentioned about the intervention. Weak yen has various impacts on the economy, such as raising import costs for consumers and improving competitiveness for exports. So this is what I keep going on about. Basically, the reason the Japanese do not want that US dollar yen so high is because everything they do is based on import export. They don't produce anything much else. It's all import export business. So if that and it's all paid for in US dollar. So as that US dollar yen rallies up, they just become poorer and poorer and poorer, and it's bad for them, their economy, their business, their everybody basically. So this is why we get these interventions. When it gets to a level where it's basically just not worth them bothering anymore, there's nothing else you can do. It's like being backed into a corner with a pack of dogs around you. You know, you've got to do something about it, and that's basically what they do. So this is why we get this talk of intervention constantly, in the hopes that the market will listen and scare them away, basically. So nothing particularly aggressive overnight, but we've only had that move happening this morning. So we'll see. So yeah, at any moment in the next week or so, we could just get a big, strong 600 ADR move down on everything against the yen. So pushing again. Canadian dollar, Swiss has had a nice reversal this morning, because I know a few people are in that one. So that's coming down at the moment, just retesting on the hourly. So other than that, overnight wise, not a lot of other news overnight to report. Today, quiet day today. We've got consumer confidence at 3 o'clock. We've got HPIs at 2, which doesn't really do anything at all. So there's no news at all this morning. There's nothing out of Europe at all this morning. It's all US this afternoon, and it's only at 3 o'clock. It's consumer confidence. That's half an hour after the US Open. That's very, very hit and miss in regards to whether or not it actually does anything. We do quite often get a spike off of it, but nothing. It's not particularly important in the fact that the banks don't really use it for scorecarding purposes much. So not that important. So the main news we've got coming up in the first big news event this week is tomorrow morning, which is the CPI for the Australian dollar. That is forecast to rise, which would mean an Australian and a New Zealand rally in the morning during Asia. So just bear that in mind. If you are exposed on Aussie and New Zealand, we should be getting a move on that tomorrow. We've got 3 minutes to the open. DAX today coming down. Everything is coming down. The DAX, we got a gap down this morning. We're just above yesterday's low. So potentially we've got, if it does run down, we've got a brick wall which we're going to run into first thing this morning. We've got a gap fill to the upside to complete. So really nice looking gap fill opportunity. This is pushing up actually pre-market. So if we get a run down into that and we see some good bullish action, that'd be a lovely little gap fill trade today. Downside on this at the moment, if you look at the hourly chart, there isn't really much. We tapped into one of those levels that I drew on yesterday. So these levels that I drew in yesterday, can't really see them because they're so far back. But, these levels are peaks and troughs that have been tested multiple times. So you can probably just about see on the chart this level that I've got here. That was tested there, it was tested there, it was tested there, tested there, tested there, tested there, tested there, tested there, broke down, tested there, tested there, tested there. Funnily enough, we're bounced. So yeah, it's just, you know, we're looking at just levels where price has had previous reactions, which it tends to happen again. It's algorithmic movement. So we've got a couple of downsides today. We've got this level here, which we bounced off yesterday, that strong level, and then we've got the ADR, which is the bottom support. So there's your downside today. Basically, ADR is the lowest point. Upside, obviously, we've got a gap fill initially. We've got the previous day's low, and then we'd be going up to yesterday's high, which is 150 ADR. So unlikely we're going to get up to that level. That's achievable. The gap fill definitely is, and yesterday's low, or previous day's low, definitely is as well. So there's a few levels. Market's just about to open. Good trade yesterday. Not an easy one. Short play. Got out of the short at 4R-ish, somewhere around here. I think it was there. And then got out of the long on the bounce, basically. So nice trade on the DAX yesterday. There we go. Market's open. Right, so EA's failed again. This is this issue with stop losses for some reason. Oh, no, it has worked. Sorry. That was just really delayed reaction there. Blimey. That was really slow execution. I wonder if that's to do with the issue that we get on the Dow. Just thinking out loud. Right, so there's your pre-market 15. If you're taking the pre-market 15 today, you're short. So watch yesterday's low, which is right here. We're trading straight into support here. Not the best idea in the world. However, support breaks. 50-50 shot of it bouncing or breaking. And we've got good downside targets as well. So see where we go. So that's that first support that we looked at. Second support is can't see what blind is about 152.81. My TP is 152.86. So if that second support holds, should be able to get out. While we're waiting for that candle to open. ADRs today, there are none. So Asia's been very quiet this morning. Nothing much to report there. Weeklies, we've got nothing yet. It is only Tuesday. We did have some nice ADRs yesterday, but nothing big enough to get the weekly ranges in, which you wouldn't expect on a Monday. Monthlies, we've got a couple which we looked at yesterday. It is the last week of the month. We tend to get a lot of movement Mondays and Tuesdays in the last week of the month, and then potentially reversals Wednesdays, Thursdays sort of time. So first news kicking off is tomorrow. So it would make sense for them to continue yesterday's rallies and then dump it Wednesday, Thursday. So So the monthlies we've already looked at these. We've got CAD Swiss we know about. We've got Pound CAD and Pound New Zealand. So CAD Swiss we know has been rallying like a lunatic. Pound CAD opposite and Pound New Zealand opposite. So that's coming down at the moment very nicely, but we are starting to slow down on these pounds at the minute, but still not stopping. So we got a big profit take potential. All of these have got very big profit take potentials on them. When you look at the size and the speed of the movement that we've had, and regardless of where you're drawing the move from, if you use that high out of that accumulation, you're looking at least a pullback into that area there, and potentially higher. And depending on what happens on tomorrow morning with the CPI for the Australian dollar, if that does come out lower than forecast, we could just start a weak run on the Aussie and New Zealand pairs and basically completely recover this whole move. So we'll see what happens tomorrow in the news. But so there's no ADRs to look at today. DAX rejecting the lows at the minute. So straight into yesterday's low and bouncing. Always dicey selling straight into support, but see where we go. The easiest play today is up into that gap fill, obviously, and then see where we go from the gap. So if you take in the 5-minute opening range break, got 40 seconds left. That's your high and low. Let's have a look at the other platform. So there's your pre-market range with the opening range breakout EA. There's your high and low of the 5-minute, which is about to get painted. Morning, everybody. I haven't said morning to. Morning, day trader, pot gator. Got 2 ECB speakers at 8, have we? Oh, yeah. Lane and Simkus. We got Steinmeier, whoever that is, speaking at 9 o'clock as well. That's just come out from the Sakurai, which is one of the old BOJ members. Heard to that name for a while. Bank of Japan might hold off on ending negative interest rates until around April next year. So there was talk about the negative 0.1 interest rate changing on the bank on the Japanese yen. All talk, always has been talk. It's been talked for many years, and they don't do anything about it. But there is talk about them changing it. So he's forecasting around April next year. There's no news coming out of that euro at the minute. Okay, so there's your 5-minute opening range. So if you're going to take the 5-minute opening range break, there is your range to trade today. We'll see if we can get a continuation on that drop that we've had at the open. And New Zealand's pushing up a little. Little bit of strength coming in on the pound. Not against the yen, though. Not against the US dollar either. It's US dollar's rallying again today. Yen strengthening up, look. So if you've got any yen shorts on, this is getting the perfect spot for selling everything against the yen. Now that the US dollar yen has pushed up further today, those Japanese are going to be keeping a very close eye on movements. US dollar yen's probably the one to take. So that is extended on the hourly now. So this 5-minute reversal alert, what's the time? 8:07. Is that extension? 73.36. Not quite an extension. So Good looking little reversal alert that. So if you get in on this now, worst case scenario, you'll be looking at moving up roughly 150 ADR into that 150, 200 ADR to the upside. So you could scale in maybe twice on it if necessary. And if that intervention then comes, you'll be happy days. Don't use a TP on it. Reversal, that's just going in there. Big strength coming through on the yen this morning. DAX is still an inside bar. No movement on that at the moment. Morning, Andres. Morning, Amy. Morning, Neo. When the intervention happens, how much does it affect? It's not a when, it's an if, JC. So if you look at the US dollar yen, there's two things that can happen. One, warning shots scare the market and the market just drops naturally. That's what that is. That's what happened in June. So we got told at 145, do not take it above 145 or there'll be trouble. And the market reacted. Then the market went, actually, we're not sure you're serious. So they popped above it and then sat there for 3 weeks and went, yeah, you haven't said anything. Right. Well, they did say stuff. They said, we don't want it going any higher. And then they went, what about a little bit more? What about a little bit more? This is what happens. They're basically like, what about a bit more? What about a bit more? And it's like poking a cat. At some point, it's just going to turn around and scratch your arm off. That's a bad example. Poking a lion, sometime it's going to turn around and bite your head off. So the intervention, basically, you won't know it until it's happened, which is why you need to be in it, ready for it. So the intervention tends to be somewhere between 400 to 600 ADR. Yeah. So that's the first one. Yeah. So look at the size of that candle. Top to bottom, it's 530 pips. Average daily range on this is 71. Yeah. So that's the first intervention. There's your second. Yeah, so this is a normal 4-hour candle, yeah? That's a normal 4-hour candle. That's a big 4-hour candle. That's a big 4-hour candle. That's an intervention. So, as I said, 71 ADR, 557. And that was over a period of 625, actually continued to about 820. So that's over 10 ADR, that move. Yeah. That's what they do, basically. What they do, they just buy the yen. Like they go, anybody got any yen to sell? Yeah, I've got some. Right, we'll have it. But I'm offering it at twice the price it normally is. Don't care, we'll have it. They just buy everything yen. And all that happens is the yen just goes, whoom, massive strength. Every bank and institution that's offside on it gets put in under massive pressure. Yeah, big drawdown. So they have to try and get out of it. And if that happens, basically what they tend to do is that, and then that. It just starts a snowball effect because the banks and institutions that aren't under pressure jump on board and buy it because they know they can catch the other banks offside and make a huge run on it. Yeah, so people get hurt. When I say people, I mean banks and institutions. The smaller institutions more than the banks, obviously. So that's what happens. And then you get continuation moves where it's just like bang, bang, bang. Yeah, that one there doesn't look like a very big candle, does it? But that's 300 ADR. That's 3 ADR, 300 pips. That's 3 ADR, that one candle there. Yeah. Another one, bang, 469. These just huge movements. ADRs are a bit contracted at the moment, I have to say, though. So normally you'd find ADR sitting around about 100 odd, maybe 120 on US dollar yen. So this is what I'm saying. When you want to be in it, because basically, when that intervention candle comes, it will just come, and it's usually during London or New York, not during Asia. So what will happen is all of a sudden it will be like, vroom, 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 and you'll be down here, and then you'll suddenly go, "What the hell was that?" Too late, you missed it. Next thing is it can either do that or that. Yeah, you don't know which it's going to do. So if you short it there, your stop loss is kind of 5 or 6 ADR away if you're using a stop loss. If not, you're scaling in 6 or 7 times on that one candle over a period of a week while you're waiting for them to decide if they're going to continue it or not. So you have to be in it ahead of the game. Nothing, you can't really get into it after. DAX has pushed down outside the 5-minute ORB. So there's your opening range breakout short on the 5-minute. Not a lot of volume today. Not a lot of fast movement, but it is broken short. So we're through yesterday's low at the moment. I wasn't watching, so I didn't see how convincing that move down was. Doesn't look particularly convincing because we actually closed inside the 5-minute range. But so yeah, shorts on the ORB today. Right, let's have a look at the FX stuff. Morning, Evans. Morning, Philip. Morning, Kennelly. Oh, it says it's rejected. This 1 to 30 leverage could be an issue. What are you talking about, Outro? Sorry, I'm going back. I've missed something, haven't I? On MT5, some reason it's deleting my buy stop when my sell stop is filled. Doesn't seem to be any take. Doesn't seem to be a take long or short option in MT5. Yeah, it could be a leverage issue. 1 to 30 leverage. The problem with leverage with indices is indices tend to have a higher leverage. If you look at, don't think this account has it. If you look in the properties for the specification for an instrument, yeah, and you look at the margin percentage, I think it's margin percentage, isn't it? Yeah, 100%. 1%. See, it's, I can't remember how they calculate it, but I know on the indices, most brokers you'll find will require more leverage for a lot on indices. So you can be happily trading away on multiple FX pairs. As soon as you press the buy or sell button, even with a small like 0.5% risk or something on an index, all of a sudden your margin goes vroom, and you get margin called, and suddenly it closes everything out, and you're like, what the hell? It's basically the leverage margin requirement on the indices. So, especially if you've got a 1 to 30 broker, it's obviously compounded massively. So, which is why the 5%ers is very difficult to trade with, because their leverage is very, very small. I just don't know where the US dollar weakness should come from. Yeah, me neither. Morning, Kennelly. I've already said hello. It was 5%. 1 to 7.5 leverage. Is that what you're getting on them? Yeah. What's someone supposed to do with that? Not a lot. This is the trouble. Yes, find another broker, basically. Or put more money in and take less risk. There's nothing you can do about it. It's one of those things. Am I still in pound CAD and CAD Swiss? Yeah. So pound CAD, I've got 3 on long. CAD Swiss, I've got 4 short. So nice reversal this morning. Whoops. On the hourly, but we'll see if it holds. So there's your M pattern forming. So we're looking for a leg down. Need to break that low, then break that low. Then we'll be testing that high. Market structure will then hopefully pull down into propulsion. Hopefully, we will see. We got no news at the moment. This is the trouble. There's no news. If we get a negative number on the consumer confidence and the home sales come out down, home sales don't really do a lot. But if we get a negative consumer confidence, that will help. But there's no major news. We've got unemployment claims. Unemployment claims are not as important as the unemployment rate. People that don't need to work don't claim unemployment. So the unemployment rate is the main figure, which is basically employable people that are employed, or people that want jobs, basically. So we've got Powell speaking on Thursday we might get a rally or a dump out of whatever is said there. Don't know. There's still so much indecision, but we got news on Friday. We got University of Michigan and the PMIs, but very light on the news this week. So it's a tricky one. TP hit on DAX. So straight short, straight run, done. Thank you very much. Happy days. DAX. Nice opening range break today. That's what we want. We haven't had a good, solid, we're going to sell off today for a while, have we? It's been days. I didn't get one last week. I did, actually, but not many. We're normally getting a few a week, but yeah, lovely ORB today. So whether you took the pre-market 15 or you took that 5, mind you, if you took the 5, you're probably not at target yet. So the 5, yeah, you haven't quite got a 1R on the 5 yet, so you need to wait for a pullback and drop. Right, RSIs. Let's have a look through those. I'm literally risking 0.5% as well. Yeah. I found the problem. I found the same problem with my Prime account in Robo Forex. On my Prime account, if I trade the opening range breakout on all 3 US indices in the afternoon, once it's triggered a couple of entries, the third doesn't trigger because there's no margin left. And then I've been stopped out on a margin call with 2 longs on, risking 1%, 1.5%. No, sorry, it's 2% on each. Yeah. So I've got 4% risk on and I get margin called. You've got to be so careful. You've really got to check out this spec. So it's always worth watching your margin level in the strategy tester. So if you've got tick data, you can put in on margin, you can set the stop out level. Yeah. So on my Prime account, my stop out level is 100%. Yeah. So when I get down to 100% margin, it closes the positions. Different brokers also do different things. Some brokers close all of your positions. Some brokers close positions in order until your margin comes back. So you're going to get different results with different brokers. But my stop out on my ECN account is 30%. The difference between 100% stop out and a 30% stop out is not a margin call or a margin call. You've got to be very, very careful with indices. Something I've learned since I've been trading them. Never really worried about it before. But then again, never been particularly trading multiple instruments at once, usually scalping on one or the other, not scalping on all, which is what the ORB is doing. So yeah, just be careful. These things you learn when you start doing. When you last checked your analysis, wasn't Swiss pairs the ones you lost the most on? Yeah, but I've also had, well, I would say not the ones I've lost the most on, the ones I haven't made as much money on. But at the end of the day, it moves, I trade it. So I've got nothing. There's no instrument that's not profitable for me apart from gold. So I trade all FX pairs, they're all profitable. Eurowod, I haven't covered that. No. We're not covering that either because it's not extended. But I will look at it. So I've got a long on Eurowod at the moment. We'll start there. Got stopped out at break even. Maybe ICT is telling the market makers where my stop is. Possibly, yes, because those are real things, those stop loss runs. Yeah. Ask ICT, he knows. He also knows about IPDA, the interbank price delivery algorithm, which nobody in banking I've ever spoken to has ever heard of. But anyway, apparently it is a thing. We won't go into that, will we? You know my thoughts on that stuff. Just thought about I just started my trial on FTMO today. Good one, Bella. Make sure it is a trial. Don't give them any money because they're all crooks. They're all running away and going bankrupt and all going to get sued. Possibly. Don't know. Think back to binary options, yeah? was it 4 years ago? Binary options hit the market, and everyone was like, binary options. Everybody's doing binary options. Everyone's making loads of money out of binary options. It was all a scam. Everyone went bust. They all got sued. Then comes prop firms. My Forex funds is the first one to go with binary options. There was one that went first. Then they all went. My Forex funds, all of them. Be careful. I'm not putting any money into prop until we get the outcome of the FTM of the My Forex funds CFTC investigation. Once that investigation is complete, I reckon every financial regulator in the world is going to start going, prop firms? Yeah, and they'll all just suddenly go, disappear. I made loads from binaries. I don't call people liars on stream, but liar. No one made money in binaries. It's a scam. It was all manipulated by the brokers. It was a scam. Nobody made money in binaries. You might have made the odd one here and there, but it was a scam. You can't make money out of scams. Unless you're part of the binary options, then you're a scammer. Sorry, not possible. Can I ask you for your help with the pair? Yeah. Euro US dollar. We'll look at that in a sec. If everybody stops chatting, I'll get on with some analysis. They know the trades now with the SEC collecting all trades from all brokers for all markets and selling it to 3,000 outside agencies. Nice zero hedge article on that law. Yeah, I don't. But the website on My Forex Funds is still on. No, it's not. Gone. My Forex Funds is gone. They're gone. MyForexFunds.com. They're gone. Second largest prop firm in the world. 24 hours. Yeah. No one's safe. Just be very careful if you're putting any money in any prop firm. I blew up on binaries about 3 times. Yes, outro. You will do. Think about it. I am the binary guy, and I'm saying to you, if you go, where do you think it's going to be in 10 minutes' time? Higher than where we are or lower than where we are? I think it's going to be lower. Okay, no problem. Think of it like a ticking clock. Do, 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 do. 9 minutes in. Do, 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 do. 10 minutes in. Oh, I'm sorry, you lost that one. Go and look at an FX chart and compare it with a binary chart. The FX chart was down here. The binary chart was up there. Why? Because I control it. Same as deriv.com. All these people get in touch with me. Does it work on this whatever index on deriv.com? No, because deriv.com is run by brokers that manipulate the indices they give you on deriv.com. Do you think you've got half a chance of winning any money if somebody is in charge of where the price goes? No. It's nuts. I can't remember what it was. Someone got in touch with me. It wasn't the VIX. It was something else they were saying about some other synthetic index. And I was like, you know that's a scam, don't you? And they're like, no. It's like, oh, come on. Who moves that index? Well, I'm going to create an index, okay? And I want you all to trade it. It's called the Lee 1000, okay? And it measures how big my bank account is, right? So do you think the Lee 1000 is going up today or down today? Yeah. If more than 50% of you say down, I will make it go up. If more than 50% of you say up, I will make it go down. Thank you for trading the Lee 1000 and thank you for your money. Welcome to deriv.com. That's basically what it is. Stop using it. Still haven't been able to figure this one out. They do not trade hours. The do not trade hours on the EA. When you input these hours, does it prevent trading on those times? Yes. And it's on your broker time. So it's this time here that appears. Whatever that is down there, that's what it works on. DAX has broken down. Unfortunately, I've been stopped out at break even on the second half. Not break even, at 2R on the second half. So 1,400 banked on the DAX this morning. It is still going though. So if you are still in this, if you're on the 5-minute ORB, you will still be in this, and you will be now at 1.5R. I suspect. Yeah, so no, you're 1R, sorry. Tricky one, that's a big one today, the opening range. But yeah, so it's still going down. So just watch those areas of support ADR to the downside is your lowest support. Was my first introduction to trading. Binary FX, binary options, well, that's really good. Binary options. If you got introduced to trading with binary options, it can't get any worse. That's a plus. 70% return on investment on every trade, apart from the ones you lost. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. They're giving you, people that don't know about it, they're giving you a negative R return on every trade. When people that know about trading know that there's physically no way you can make money out of binary options. Even if it wasn't manipulated, the odds of flipping a coin are better. Just a load of rubbish, which is why it didn't last very long. Well, it did. It lasted quite a long time. It might work fine in Sweden, Bella. But, oh, what do you mean? Oh, you're talking about my Forex funds? You say my Forex funds is up in other countries? We wouldn't, if it's up in Sweden, it should be up in the UK, shouldn't it? It's gone. I came across Axie Select, trying to do what Darwin X are doing. I haven't looked at that. That's been around for a while, that. Outro, 86 people watching and only 20 likes. 91 people watching. Come on. Hurry up. Hit the button. Otherwise, I'll be quiet. I can't actually see how many people are liking it because it doesn't tell me on my stream. So, right. I'm going to pause the chat there and stop because I need to do some analysis. Otherwise, we're never going to get anything done today. So EuroCAD, someone wanted to look at. So I've got longs on this at the moment. The Canadian dollar has been very strong off the back of oil. Oil is still rallying, although we are in this pullback now. Okay, so pullback is now underway. This is the pullback I was saying about, that reversal alert that we had there that retested. I was looking for a pullback to 38.50 area. This accumulation here is basically the low, or rather the highest area I would expect to find buyers. Further down, we've got that little accumulation. Then we're dropping all the way back down to this, which is the 71.9 retracement. So oil is still forecast for 95 a barrel. The question is, how far down are we going to go before we start the next leg up? So at the minute, we're on the second leg. So we're looking for a pullback at the moment to get in long up to that $95 a barrel target, which is what Goldman's called this year, which we can get to pretty much this month. If it continues to rally, that is. So looking for that level there, 38 or 50, based on that move. So at the moment, Canadian dollar has been rallying hard off the back of oil, as we can see. Oil is now starting to retrace. So that's going to give the euro an opportunity to make some headway against it. Same with all these others, like the CAD Swiss. Should be starting to come down now because oil is starting to drop. So we should see a little bit of weakness starting to creep in. Problem with the CAD Swiss is we've got a very weak Swiss franc off the back of that interest rate, which they didn't increase and they said they were going to. So that's obviously harmed the CAD Swiss a little bit, and the fact that the euro, the Swiss franc is very, very weak. So yeah, EuroCAD in long, but obviously initial entry was back here on the RSI extension. Sorry, there. We're looking for some kind of pullback on this move. And all we've had basically is a 3-day grind, a news event, a 4/5 day grind, a little bit of a push. So hopefully this is the last drop before we get a little bit of strength coming through. I'm looking for that propulsion gap as target. Which I just need to adjust. This blue line here is a previous monthly level as well. So I'm targeting just under that. So that's where ultimate target is going to be. Whether I hold it above there or not, I don't know. But we'll see what happens when we see what happens with news, see what happens with momentum, etc., etc. So, but EuroCAD, good looking long, still in that one already. I'll look at the hourlies first because we've only got 3 hourlies. So for those that don't know, the RSI dash, this is the hourlies there. This is the 4 hourlies there. Hourlies, we've got US dollar yen. That's also extended on the 4-hour. So 4-hour RSI extension to the upside above the 30 level, looking for a pullback. Obviously, the pullback is not necessarily going to come. It's going to be more of an intervention potentially, but we will see. We don't know what is going to happen. If they keep pushing it, obviously the Japanese will have no choice because, if you manufacture a load of goods and it actually doesn't make you any money exporting them anymore because of the exchange rate, you need either to not export those goods, sell them to somebody else, or change the exchange rate. That's typically what they go for. Probably the hardest thing to do, but that's what they do. So, yeah, I mean, if you measure 600 ADR from where we are at the moment, or sort of, to be honest, at the moment, it's more like a 10 ADR move. You're going to get somewhere between 500 to 700 pips. So, 500 pips, which is a typical intervention that we've seen in the past, whether it's typical now or not, we don't know, but that's 500 pips from where we are at the moment. Yeah. So imagine one 4-hour candle coming straight back down and touching that 72. Yeah. That's the sort of move that we will see if it happens. So it's extended on the 4-hour. It's extended on the hourly, but obviously we know the US dollar's rallying. We know we've had this weakness in the yen. The only thing that's going to stop it is either the Japanese coming out and shooting across the bow and then actually paying attention, in which case we'll get similar to move what we had before, or they would just intervene and do it. So these are extended on the 4-hour and the hourly, but it's less likely to be a profit take move that gets you out of it. It's more likely to be a collapse. So we'll see. US dollar Swiss gained, Swiss franc massively weak. I had an entry here, which I got out of. Well, that was the Swiss franc interest rate. So we were expecting a 2%. We got a 1.75. So obviously the Swiss franc dropped through the floor. Everything rallied against it. US dollar's been rallying since, and the Swiss franc's not really had much strength. So this is pushed away and got embedded above the 60 level on the RSI. So very, very strong move going on there at the moment. Any kind of new news on the US dollar to weaken it, any kind of euro news which is bullish will help the Swiss franc along. The Swissie's not the type of currency that tends to sit down for long, though. It will get rallied. So any kind of news that is negative or any kind of big move that starts on any other currency, you will find money flood out of it straight into the Swissie. So the Swissie will power up. It just needs some catalyst to make it move. So it will get a kick at some point, always does, but we'll wait and see what's happening with this US dollar. But nicely extended. Got one short on that at the moment from the extension. Yesterday was the entry. I haven't put TP on it. Looking for a push down into propulsion. So first target would be that last week's high. This propulsion gap here. If you want to be a little bit more aggressive, look for a pullback down into propulsion there. Just want to quickly look at something. Yeah, so these are the intervention moves from last October from the yen. I just wanted to see what impact it had actually on the US dollar and the Swiss as the interventions happened. And as you can see, very similar to the US dollar yen. There and there. So if that intervention does come in, you will probably find a slightly weaker but still similar type of reaction coming on this as well. So from a targeting perspective, what I'm going to do is just going to put my target down at where I consider to be a very decent, like 250 ADR move, which on a typical day is going to be very difficult to achieve, obviously, but over multiple days you can do. But on an intervention, it'll be done in seconds. So I'm just going to move that down there just in case. We are also coming up to resistance on the US dollar Swiss. So we've got this area here, which I've got drawn on. So it's that high and that high, which you can't see because it's tiny, but roll in. Okay. So it's this high here, which is the most recent high, that high there, which is this low. Yeah. So this whole area here, as you can see, these two lines have been multiple tested. that's where we got the reaction yesterday. We stalled at, and today we're up at this higher level. So this is a decent area of resistance that we may get a pullback from. And then it obviously can do what it likes after that. Doesn't matter, does it? So decent level we're at, and it is rejecting at the moment, as you can see. So dropping down onto M5, the reversal alert is just about to go in straight off of that resistance. So this may be the start of the pushback on that one. Just quickly check DAX. So DAX is rallying back up. So potentially watch this propulsion gap, which is the initial break of the pre-market range. That's the initial cash balance, the initial 5-minute opening range candle. So watch for some kind of resistance in that level there. New Zealand dollar yen. Obviously, that's had a big push down this morning. Wow, that's rejecting a lot. So this yen strength we had coming through is all petering out. Look, US dollar yen's not doing too bad still, but against all the other currencies, it's not holding up very well. So New Zealand dollar yen, that's extended on the 4-hour. The upside. Let's get rid of this fib because it's on the chart. So yeah, nice mess basically, the New Zealand dollar yen. A lot of the other yen pairs are in a bit of a sideways mess at the moment, New Zealand being one of them. Big strong rallies we've had on New Zealand and Aussie over the last week. We've had 3 days where we've had really good strong pushes on these Australasian pairs. We've got the news tomorrow morning for the CPI, so this could all either massively extend or massively flip back the other way. Obviously, with any of these, it's extended on the 4-hour, has been. So you may well already be in it. You'll be out on that one. But if you are in it from this extension yesterday, or last week rather, we're waiting for the intervention to come, if it does come. And obviously, you want to be short on it not long. So still a good looking short opportunity. New Zealand dollar Swiss, very much the same as all the other Swissies at the moment. Got 2 positions on this one. Looking for a push back down into this propulsion gap. Any kind of pullback basically on this move, really. Swiss franc, as we know, weak on the back of the news, where they didn't increase their interest rates. So targeting this propulsion and potentially that propulsion. So this is the interest rate change that we didn't get, and it's rallied away from that for the last 2 days. So looking for some kind of weakness basically to push back on a pullback on that level. Obviously, the Aussie dollar news tomorrow, if we get that CPI negative on the Aussie, the New Zealand will come down with it as well. So we'll see what happens in the news tomorrow morning. But anything less than a 5.2 potentially will be a drop in the Australasian pairs. That's quite a big forecast as well for an increase. We're going from 4.9 to 5.2 when our interest rates are so high. Look at what we had on the pound, yeah? This is pretty much the same scenarios we had on the pound, look. CPI expectation was 6.8, forecasting a 7. What we got was a 6.7, yeah? So they were forecasting it could go up 0.2%. What they actually got was a 0.1% decline. We're forecasting to go up 0.3%. So if we don't get that, and we get, if we were to get 4.8, i.e. pretty much the similar as what happens with the pound, coming down hard. So so all these Aussie and New Zealand pairs potentially got good shorts tomorrow. But we wait and see what the news is. But that's really extended on the 4-hour look. We're above the 80 level now. Big extension. And we've got divergence there. Yeah, so bearish divergence. So this is very, very extended. This is now, we're going into week 4 on this New Zealand dollar Swiss of upward movement. So that basically was a hammer. Then we had a bull and a bull and a bull. So it's fourth weekly bullish move we're in now. So definitely due some kind of profit taking move on that just to get out of a bit of the position, but we'll see. Pound US, as we know, massively extended, still extended, 4-hour extension. This thing on the hourly hasn't come out it's just extended to hell. The pound has really struggled. That CPI figure killed it. The US is still getting good news. Nothing we can do about this move. It's just a squeeze from hell. And it's just been slow, so unbelievably slow. That's what the worst thing about this has been. It's been like that. That I can handle. That is just painful when you've been in something for months and it's literally just doing that. It's not even trending. It's just moving down. It's just a nasty move. But yeah, it's still extended, as we know. So nothing you can do about that one in a minute. Pound New Zealand, big extension to the downside. 2 positions on that one at the moment. Pound looks like it's getting hammered again today. Yeah, still weakness in the pound. Pound New Zealand. So again, same thing as the others with the Pound New Zealand. I got 2 positions on that one, targeting propulsion gap. This could just be back up here by the time I wake up tomorrow morning, depending on what the Aussie CPI figure comes out as. So yeah, again, big strong push down. 4-hour RSI extension, extended and embedded for the last week. Look, not getting out of that funk at the moment. Markets just kind of come out of summer trading into a blur with some of these pairs, especially the pound. The pound is just so unbelievably weak. Pound CAD, nice extension to the downside, embedded. We know about this one as well, same as the Canadian dollar. The Canadian dollar is just off on oil. Oil price, we've been waiting all year for oil to move, and it picks August, quietest month of the year, to make its move. But yeah, big drop on that one. Again, there will be a big profit take on that at some point soon. So we're very extended away from that 24. We've looked at this one. You know, the relationship between price and the 24 moving average, the monthly moving average. Yeah, the further away you get from it, the faster it snaps back. Yeah, we are miles away. Yeah, furthest we've been, basically. So yeah, that snapback, you're looking at probably 3 days or so of ADR extensions, just bang, 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 get it done. So as soon as that starts to pull back, the market will get spooked. Everybody that's sitting in huge P&Ls will want to escape some of their positions. They will become buyers and it will just add to the fuel and it will fly. But we're waiting for the catalyst and we haven't had one. Bailey is radio silence. They didn't put up the interest rates. Inflation dropped. It's all going wrong for the pound from a financial perspective. Canadians, nothing but good news on oil, although that is starting to tick down now. So if we can get one piece of positive news out of Bailey or something while oil is dropping, it will give it that chance to get started. That's all it needs, just a kickstart, and then it will go. But at the minute, still pushing. Euro US dollar extended on the 4-hour to the downside. Euro's been hammered, basically. Again, same thing. We put up the interest rates. Market went, nah, don't like it. US has still been rallying. So you can see all it is basically accumulation, news, just moving on news at the moment. So again, waiting for news events to kick this into touch. Decent pullbacks on it though. So we are getting some nice pullbacks, which means you can get out of the positions. So not great, but usable. So nice rejection showing at the moment on the Euro US dollar. We're extended down below the 25 level again. So same as we were here on that pullback. As long as it's continuing nice market structure, see a nice pullback into propulsion. Not massively extended though, Euro US dollar, only just. It is going to light up the 25 possibly. We've got 1.25 hours left, so it might push down a little bit further, but we'll see. Euro New Zealand just started to turn. 2 positions on that one. That one's running in profit at the moment. So that's a 4-hour RSI extension. That was an hourly extension on Friday. So that was first entry on Friday on that ADR hit. Then we pushed up. Didn't take that off. Enough money. Yes, there's TP up there. Look, so I was looking for it to push back up and retest that high. So in fact, now what I'll probably do is put it back into that propulsion. So that's 0.67. So that's 0.75% on those two. So yeah, moving. And again, this will be dictated tomorrow by the Australian CPI figure. So if that's higher than expected or as expected, we'll probably see a drop on Euro New Zealand. If it's lower than expected, we'll see a pop. If it comes out as expected as well, we could also see a pop because we don't know what the market's factored in. And it is only a year on year as well, this one. So the year on the year figures are important, but the market pays much more attention to quarterly because right now we're looking granular. We want to know what's happening over the last month and the last quarter with inflation, because that's what the banks are making their decisions based on. What's happened over a period of a year doesn't really factor in all the incremental increases we've had on interest rates. Over a quarter and a month, you can measure the impact of those interest rate changes. So the year-on-year figures will be used by the banks to start moves off, but they're not what they're paying attention to as to which way they should be going. So we might get big moves, but they're not necessarily what will the continuation will be. So always getting a bit of an impact off of them, though. So we'll see what happens with that one tomorrow morning. That's Euro New Zealand. CAD Swiss we know about. That's extended on the 4 hour, coming down beautifully today. Probably the nicest price action we've seen. If you look at the 4 hour chart here on the CAD Swiss, since the oil rally. Yeah, so if you bring up oil, yeah, oil's just been grinding and grinding and grinding. It's starting to roll over now. Yeah. So when you look at the CAD Swiss and the bear candles we've had on this, we've had one bear candle there, which was a 50% retracement into an accumulation. Yeah, we had a little bear candle there. We've had a little bear candle there, which was a 50% retracement into that and accumulation. We had a bear candle there and a 50% retracement on that move into a tiny accumulation and a push. Yeah, we haven't had any bearish price action for 2 weeks. We've just had a bearish engulfing. First one. Yeah. First proper bearish engulfing after a bull move. So this is potentially it. And look at what's happening on this next candle. Sellers are stepping on board. If we break that low, we've got a good chance of getting a nice little flush out of this. So on the hourly, you've got the reversal alert and the retest is just happening now. We've got to break that low and then we need to break that low. And then after we've done that, we're coming back down into this 0.67 area. And that is basically where we are going to see some limit orders trigger from everybody that wants to continue this rally and buy it. And that propulsion gap where we started that accumulation break as well. So we got two major barriers before ADR today. If we can get down to ADR, we're off, we're started. So hopefully we're going to get a pullback then and new market structure. So what we're looking for is that break of structure and then a new second leg to go in. That's your structure break and off we go down into propulsion. Back down to where that Swiss franc move started on the interest rates. However, that may well be a point of where they buy. This is where the buyers bought off of the interest rates. This is where they added. Yeah, accumulated, pushed, accumulated, pushed. We haven't retested either of these areas yet. So we might find more buyers in these areas too. We'll find out when we get there, won't we? So yeah, good move starting on it, but we really got to break this low. We've got to put some decent bear moves in on this, i.e. Swiss franc strength. Yeah, we need this Swiss franc to continue this rally. And the Canadian dollar, obviously, to find some weakness, which is finding against the yen, weak against the US, a little bit weak against the pound as well. So it does look like this is Canadian weakness starting to kick in as well, which is really good. A little bit of Swiss franc strength today and a little bit of Canadian weakness. Perfect storm in the opposite direction. But we'll see if we get it. Aussie New Zealand, that one's extended on the 4 hour to the downside. We've got a really nice accumulation building here. Big solid drop we've just had, an accumulation, and nicely extended and embedded down there below the 25 level. So good looking opportunity for a long, dropping down onto the lower time frame. Your 15-minute reversal alert hasn't drawn properly, which it has because we had a gap down. So yeah, I mean, break of that high, but 5-minute You've already had the reversal alert this morning. We had a little bit of a gap down off the broker today, but so there's your reversal alert long, but we haven't gone anywhere since. We haven't also put in a lower low either. So we've literally double bottomed. So nice accumulation going on here. So we had a nice market structure break there, which they've basically just double bottomed today. This is the broker taking out everybody. Yeah. Can't really see it, can you? So obviously that's the low of yesterday. So anybody that longed that yesterday, the broker just basically stopped them out today. Brokers do. And then, yeah, hopefully get the start of a rally. So nice extension on that one. We've got good support coming up as well. We've got multiple monthly lows here. So we got a double bottom, which is the monthly low from August. We got September's low there as well. And that's ADR today. So if we can get an ADR hit on this today at a double bottom, pretty good long. But equally, we haven't managed to make a new high on that previous August. September's high was there, which we've broken through. Sorry, that's August's high, isn't it? I'm talking rubbish. That's August's high. That's July's high and low. So yeah, we've broken through August's high, but we haven't managed to break through the July high. So there's a good chance that we might try and put in a higher low down here. We'll see. Not great. I'd rather take it down there. If we can get down to there, hopefully we'll have an hourly RSI extension as well to get an opportunity to go long on it. But we'll see what happens. So that's Aussie New Zealand and Aussie dollar Swiss. Extended to the upside, coming down as well with the rest of the Swiss francs. So that's a 4-hour RSI extension. Again, we've been up there multiple times. Nice market structure on this though. That's not great, but nice pullbacks we've been getting. So it looks good for shorts. That's a beautiful double top as well. So that is your high from August. Straight into it, hit it, rejected it, tried again, tried again, tried again. So we've had for the last 12 hours, we've been running up into that. So that was where we ran up into it. Yeah, can't get through, can't get through, can't get through. Sellers stepping in, broken lows. We can get that reversal out on the 4-hour. To get a move started. The hourly, I think you're just about to get one. Yeah. So there's your reversal alert on the hourly. We have just wicked below it, but been supported. So if we can break that low, you've got your hourly reversal. We get some moves started there. There you go. There's your RSIs. DAX, there you go. Straight out of that propulsion gap. So there's your 5-minute opening range candle, your initial cash balance. That was the propulsion gap I said to watch for a short. So second leg potentially starting down. So high, low, lower high, going for a break of that low. Pretty good. We have got the gap fill though. So potentially low, high, this propulsion might put in a higher low, and then we'll come up and do the gap fill. One of those two things is going to happen. If I knew which, I'd be a billionaire. Not just a millionaire, billionaire. But anyway, I'm done on the DAX for today. Right, let's catch up on the chat. Eldar, you can go on their website, can you? But it only shows a message, though. That's interesting. Maybe I don't know what's blocking me here from my Forex funds. I'm not the only one. There's a number of people I've spoken to who've said my Forex funds is down, and not just in the UK. So be interesting to know if there's anybody in the US that can access to my Forex funds site. So this could be ISP blocking, which I can test because I can go onto my VPN and switch. I won't do it now because it will disconnect me. But I might check on my VPN and just go and visit some other countries and see if I can access this. But it's definitely down here. The other possibility, which might be the case, is anybody that is owed money or has been paid out by my Forex funds, me, cannot access the site for legal reasons. So it may be part of the CFTC investigation. They've blocked IP addresses from accessing it. Or my Forex funds have blocked IP addresses from accessing it. Could be a number of reasons. Why, I don't know. But I can't get on my Forex funds, and I know a number of people that can't. So those of you that can, you're probably seeing that message that says they're under CFTC investigation. Very weird. Philip, I lost everything with binary. Total scam. Yep. Tom is coolish. You can access it as well. Yeah. Can you watch oil, but only with your right eye this time? I can. There we go. I have watched oil already, though. I've already done the analysis on it, haven't I? Let me just stick that fib back on. So I want to make those lines bigger, actually, because they're a bit... see it better then. So that's 38 retracement. So 125 ADR today. This accumulation, basically. So what we were looking at, when you're using any kind of pullback tool, whether it be a moving average, a Fibonacci, whatever it may be, and you're trying to measure where a pullback is going to go to, you're always looking for confluence. Yeah. So looking for multiple reasons at a level for price to react. So with this particular move that we've got here, we had a big, strong push up. We went into a little accumulation, and then we had a spike. I would probably hazard a guess that that's a Wednesday. That's probably oil inventories. And then we pulled back into that propulsion move. They bought it again. We pulled back into that propulsion move. They bought it again. And that accumulation of buying lasted for 4 days. Then they made another break. So you would have had a fib on that going, I'm waiting for a pullback. And I did. If you're going back and look at the live rooms from that time, you'll see me doing exactly that. We didn't get a pullback. So that move is now extended up to there. Now we're looking for a pullback on this entire move. And when we're looking at areas, the 38 retracement is where they bought it last time. So this is that initial move, buy, the 38 retracement, high probability of finding buyers because that's where they did it last time. Yeah. Failing that, you've got the 50% retracement, which coincides with the previous monthly high. So there's a good reason for buys there. There's a good reason for buys there. The 71.9 is that double top break, which retested and they bought from that area as well. So all of these areas have got confluence. Could be any one of them, which is why fib traders go mental, because they always try and buy it from there. Every time they buy it from there, it becomes that one. And they go, ugh. Then they buy it from that one and it actually stops them out and comes down and it goes from there. And they buy it again and they get stopped out and then it goes from there. And then it pushes up and they miss the move because they took their profit off there to pay for those two trades and didn't actually make any money. Sound familiar? If you've traded fibs. So yeah, we know it's going to pull back to somewhere. However, if you're a position trader, you just get in there, you get in there, you get in there, and you get out when you make money. Much easier. But this could go from anywhere, obviously. But we are going long, I'm pretty sure. However, there is a spanner in the works, as there always is with everything. OPEC could very much enforce a production increase on Saudi. They have the power because there's more than one member, not just the Saudis and the Russians. But at the moment, while that oil cap's in place and demand is still there, the price will continue to rise. So, yeah, looking for longs only. You've got a double bottom bounce happening at the moment. It could just go from here, you know. Doesn't have to be a pullback, but we're in an accumulation. Yeah, remember what I've just been through with that accumulation? Didn't pull back, did it? Just went. So you could take a break of that high and be pretty sure you'll get a break of that one as well. But if you buy it from here, obviously it's a long way to go. There you go. Euro US dollar. I think I did Euro US dollar, didn't I? Yeah. I've got my trading hours set from 1 to 23, so it should trade between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. Yeah, 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. at night. Now, if you've got it set from 1 to 23, it will trade from 1 a.m. to 11 p.m. Yeah. It won't trade between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. It will trade between 1 a.m. and 11 p.m. Yeah. Talking about the market reverse alerts, EA, aren't you? I take it. It doesn't matter what EA you use. The trading times are between the hours that you set. So the first candle and the last candle, it's between that and that is where you are going to trade. Yeah. It's all covered in the manual, AZ. Everything's covered in the manual. Just dip into the manual and read the bit about what you want to read. Right, okay, so I've just read the rest of your thing. Doesn't affect drawdown control. Yeah, taking trades is not doing drawdown control. It will take trades between those hours, but it will do drawdown control when the market is moving against you, regardless. If you think about it, right? If you've got your EA set to do drawdown control at 1 ADR, right? And you get a news event or something overnight where it pushes down 200% of ADR, if you told it not to do drawdown control there, you're taking a loss 200 ADR deeper than you should be. Yeah, drawdown control is done when drawdown control is reached. If your broker spreads you an ADR, you'll do drawdown control. Those time settings do not stop it getting you out of losing positions. It stops it from taking new positions. I don't use it. I don't care when the reversal alerts come in, basically. I want to be in. It's all about the spacing for me. Yeah. I won't say don't take a reversal alert here just because it's the Asian session. If the distance between those two is where I want to be scaling my positions around about those areas, I want it in. Yeah. If I tell it not to trade until London starts at sort of 7 o'clock in the morning or something, we get a reversal alert in there. Yeah. And then it pushes up in London, I wouldn't be in the trade. If it pushes down in London, fine. I want a position there so that I can get another one there to keep my average close. I don't use the time settings. You can use them as you've got, which stops you taking trades on big broker candles. But look at that one we looked at this morning. Yeah, Aussie, New Zealand. Yeah, you would not have got a long on that. Because it's in the period where you've said don't take any trades. Do you need a position on Aussie New Zealand there if you're already in multiple positions? So if this thing now does that today, you're not in it. Personal preference, no right, wrong, but personally, I just let it trade all the time. UJ train is leaving the station. Yeah, possibly. Reverse alert's just about to go in. I haven't got any yen exposure at all. Adyen's already gone. But I mean, the thing with these is, you know, if it's going to come, it really doesn't matter when you get in. If you get in here or you get in here, it doesn't matter. If that's going to do that, what's the difference? Not a lot, is it? Really not going to impact you much. A sec. Right. So yeah, I mean, it's not given a reverse alert on the hourly yet. So there is a possibility that we are just going to see sort of a Christmas tree type move today, and we're just going to support this level. So I'd wait for an hourly break. More confirmation. Dan, mine says secure connection failed US. Yeah, so yours is down for you. In Spain, my Forex funds is also down. Yeah. So a lot of people have it down. I mean, it'd be interesting to know how many people have actually traded with my Forex funds. So there's multiple reasons it could be down. It could be ISP related. So your ISP may have put a block on it because of the legal action going on. CFTC may have put a block on it for specific individuals. My Forex funds could have done the same thing. So it could be because you've had an account with them, you're registered with them, so therefore it's blocked your IP address, which is logged when you registered and where you traded from. It could be that my Forex funds have done it. It could be that you've got an account with them and have never been paid. It could be that you've got an account with them and have been paid. It could be that you've got an account with them and they owe you money. There could be multiple reasons why certain individuals are getting blocked and others aren't. It could be country related, but if you've got two people in the same country, one can, one can't, that would suggest it's an ISP related thing. Could be your cache settings. You go into incognito mode and hit Control R a couple of times on it. Maybe it's cash. I don't know. Could be anything, couldn't it? Gold. Sorry, I just had to find Mr. Wick. Gold. There'd be gold in them hills. Coming down. You're in a range at the moment on gold. Big one. But right now we're contracting. So today looks like nice little long up into there, and then potentially this week up into there if we're going to continue this symmetrical triangle contraction. But extended on the RSI, so another good reason for longing it. But what's going to happen with the US dollar this week? So this afternoon, if the US dollar news comes out as negative, that goes like that. If it comes out as positive, it goes like that. Just a US dollar cross, like everything else, except there's no way of determining a bias on that because it hasn't got any fundamentals. So why I don't trade it? I don't know, but it looks like a long to me at the minute. GJ shorts, Daniel. Yen's being bought up because of the Bank of Japan. Yeah. We'll see. If I was going to short anything at the moment, I mean, the biggest short you're going to get is the US dollar. But the pound is probably the second best short, I would say. Just because it's weak at the minute. So if that yen intervention does come, you need to look at it. If you look at the currency strength meter, Germany cuts planned Q4 federal debt assurance. Oh, here we go. We're closely monitoring Forex moves with great sense of urgency. There we go. Oh, screw it. I'm taking one. I'm not waiting for the reversal alert. Find short one. Adding. So this is not mathematical. This is not cleverly formulated. This is, if this thing goes, I don't want to just have one on it. I want to have many. Yeah. Because a 500 pip move. Where's my box? There we are. Yeah, that's 500 pips. Pretty much typically what we would expect to see in an intervention. Yeah. So if it's going to happen, I'm in, I'm adding, I'm out. Yeah. So, and obviously if it doesn't happen and we push up to 150, it's a scaling. There you go. So yeah, that's the news. You know, this I was very, you know, we didn't hear overnight. the move happened after the Asian session. So someone's obviously phoned Suzuka, because obviously bear in mind they're in bed. Someone's phoned Suzuka and gone, they're pushing it again, sir. Okay, just tell them that we're monitoring it. All right. We're monitoring it. And he's probably said to his assistant, if they push it back above where they've just pushed it from, phone me again. And then he'll be on the phone to the dealing desk saying, buy it all. Off we go. So yeah, sure. Germany cuts plan quarter four. Not a massive impact off of that Euro news. I can see my Forex funds with the VPN. Right, okay. Yeah. So I'm going to have a play around later. But I mean, I've seen the page. I had it for ages and then it disappeared. So I know what the page says. I'm in the UK and can see my Forex funds temporary receivership, but they don't owe me money. Maybe, yeah. I have temporary receivership, yeah. So from experience, have you had issues with unnecessary drawdown control on broker candles? Yeah. Well, it's not unnecessary drawdown control. It's drawdown control. It's not unnecessary. The price has pushed down to the levels. I mean, it's, you know, it doesn't matter, right? So let's say, for example, your drawdown control, let's use Aussie New Zealand as an example, because we always get loads of manipulation on Aussie New Zealand. Yeah, so let's say, for example, on the Aussie New Zealand, your drawdown, the price closed there. The drawdown control was going to be done there, yeah, by the EA. So if they spread you from there to there, which is, that is 88. All right. $400, yeah. So that's 8 pips, 10 pips, right? It does 47 in a day. So if they spread you that much and you get a drawdown control done there and then it pushes back up again, that's a tiny little, it's a third of a position somewhere that you've had drawdown control done on. It's eased the pressure. It's done its job. Yes, it may be unnecessary, but in the grand scheme of things, losing 0.13% or 0.1% of your account, not the end of the world, is it? If you get that done. But it was very close to doing it anyway. Yeah. It's not, they're not going to spread you so far that it triggers a drawdown control and then it comes back up within one candle and it's moved 2 ADR and it's stopped you out of 2 positions. You've taken whatever. In the grand scheme of things, drawdown control is there because you're wrong. It's going wrong. You want out of this trade. That's what drawdown control does. It gets you out with portions of your trade because you're wrong. If you don't want to do drawdown control automatically, turn it off, do it manually. So you then won't get the broker candles triggering you. But you just do it manually, yeah? So I want it to do it. Regardless of whether I say don't take any trades, if it spread me down to there, yeah, you could spread down and continue down. So it could do that and then continue down, and it's going to trigger the drawdown anyway. So it's the same thing, isn't it? But in the grand scheme of things, unless your broker is regularly spreading you half an ADR to 1 ADR, it's not an issue. If you've got a broker that's regularly spreading you half an ADR to 1 ADR, move broker. Really, it's just a, you know, it's an insignificance in the grand scheme of things. When you've got positions on that are going against you, you want out. It releases the pressure. Traded with them and down in the UK, yeah. I had no account with them, Amy. Have a look at Google's cached my Forex website. Oh yeah, could do. I'm not that interested, Seymour, to be honest. They've gone bust. They're being sued. I shall be suing them shortly if they don't get my money back by whichever legal firm sets it up. There will be a class action lawsuit against my Forex funds by some firm somewhere, and you just go to their website and the solicitors and you register. You provide proof of all the payments you've made, and they will go off and they will get you your money back. It It will take 6 months, a year, 3 years, or as long as it takes for the lawsuit to go through. But that's what will happen if the CFTC find against them. If the CFTC don't find against them, there may still be a lawsuit. I don't know, but I've been through this before with Alpari, and so there's nothing you can do. It takes forever. Sit there and wait. Does the move come soon after they announce their growing sense of urgency, or does it come later on? It comes when they fancy it, Daniel. So if you look back through your news feed, you will find, if we look back through the live streams, it will take you ages. Don't bother. Just trust me. We've had this message many times over the last month. We get it all the time. So we had it here. Yeah, I can tell you where we had the intervention news without going back through the news. But if you look here on the 27th of June, if you go on the 27th of June on my Financial Juice, if there's some way you can get back to the 27th of June, you will see every single day in the Asian session, we wake up and we have a message saying FX moves, large FX moves against the yen are undesirable. We are closely monitoring FX movement. They say the same exact statement every single time. It's the one we just had this morning. The market either reacts or it doesn't. If it does, brilliant, they shut up. You don't hear anything. Then you get back to the level where you had that before, 145, which is where the first intervention was in August 2022. And we had exactly the same messages then. You get the messages again. Yeah, the market then either reacts or it doesn't. If it doesn't react, they keep on messaging until they get some stability. Then they shut up. When it makes a move, they go, FX moves are undesirable. We know that. We're moving it against you. You don't have to tell us. We can see it on the chart. And then it goes down and they go and shut up. So you get a 4-day, 3-day rally and they go quiet. Then it comes back up, makes a new high and they start moaning again. Then it goes down and then it sits stable. And then it goes up again and they start moaning again. You never know when it's going to be. But they will suddenly shut up and go silent. It will push and it will go bang. You won't know. It will happen. No one will know when it's happened. It just happens. Go back and look at it last year. If you look at it on the hourly chart last year. It happened, I think, in London last year. Or was it New York? I can't remember. We were in the live room, basically. And somebody said, whoa, what the hell was that? Like, what was what? And all of a sudden, the alert dashboard just went bing, 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 bing. And the RSI dashboard went off. The ADR dashboards went off. Yeah. So that was at 11 a.m., which is 9 a.m. UK. Yeah. And it was, I don't think I can go down to the 5-minute chart. I can try. Where are we? 22nd of September. Try and go down to 15 and find. It's just trying to find it. You go all the way back to April now, look. No. Wrong way. I haven't got data. I need to load data. October. There we go. Yeah. So 1 5-minute candle, bear in mind ADR at the moment is 71. That 1 5-minute candle. And there was a warning shot as well. That's the other thing. Yeah. That was what we had, wasn't it, in the live room? Nobody, I'm saying as if you're all here in the live room. You probably weren't here when this was happening. But what we had was a, whoa, what the hell was that? Like a glitch in the matrix. We were like, Jesus, did you see the size of that candle? That's weird. Carry on talking. Bang. Then it happens. Yeah. So, but that one candle there is 200 pips. ADR is 71. So in 1 5-minute candle, they put in 3 ADR. They followed it by a 3 ADR move. Followed it by, yeah. So it was just a 15 minutes. Yeah. We were 517 pips lower within 15 minutes. You haven't got time to react. But if you saw that candle come in, the first thing you would be doing is like, what the hell was that? Everybody tries to fade it because look at the size of it. And obviously everyone gets run over, killed. But and then you have this period of, Jesus, that was weird. And it fades all the way back up. until you get the next one, which was then October. There. Yeah. So look at these warning shots. That's a news event. But look at this. Yeah. You know something's coming because you just get these vibes, basically. But bang, bang. And that was the nail in the coffin. We never recovered from that one. And then they hit it again. There. Yeah, again. Doesn't look like big move on the 15-minute chart, does it? But these are normal 15-minute candles. These are normal 15-minute candles. Normally we're moving somewhere in the region of 3, 4. Yeah, a nice big push would be something like 5. Yeah, 243 pips, one candle, followed by that. Yeah. So you might get a warning shot, but you won't know about it. And this is why you have to be positioned on it pre the move. And it's totally speculative. Yeah, it might not ever happen. We had the same thing back here. Yeah, we were getting ready for it, but what the market actually did was went sideways for 5 days, and then we got a little bit of weakness in the US dollar, and the yen rallied along with it. So we got this nice big pullback, but that wasn't the Japanese. That was just normal price action profit take move that we're used to seeing. Yeah. So that was just a normal pullback, 50% retracement move. That's just a profit take on that. But it was instigated by the Japanese sending a warning shot saying, because the market knows it's coming, the market knows about it. It's just it doesn't know when, and it doesn't, this is why you'll suddenly see things like this. When they say it, the market's like, quick, flatten it, just in case. And then they'll go, right. Don't forget, the banks have still got to transact, yeah? So they will still be taking long positions against the US yen because they've still got corporates that need to do exchanges. They've still got Japanese businesses that need to do these exchanges. So there's constant exchanges going on where they will, by definition, have to build a long position. They don't have a choice because they will have the market maker desks will have to start longs. The corporate desks will have to start longs. If they're not out of those longs by the time that the Japanese do the intervention, if they do it, they will take a hit on it. They don't want to do it, obviously, which is why you get these sudden panic sells as soon as you get some kind of news. But you won't know it. It will just be like that. It's like being shot in the head. It's over. So I'm watching Top Boy at the moment. So hence the reference. If you're not watching Top Boy, you've got Netflix. Brilliant. Especially if you're in the UK, if you live in London. If you don't live in London, you probably won't go back to London. But will GJ move the same? Yeah, all of them will. All of them. The US dollar yen the most, though. So if you go and look at the pound yen at the same time last year, you'll get different movement, but it is the same. That's Liz Truss. Did that happen at the same time as the yen? Get the dates right. So 22nd of September and the 21st of October. Yeah, look, there you go. 22nd of September. And then October the 21st is there. So October the 21st's move was 468 pips on 112. So that's 4 and a bit ADR. That's obviously way bigger. Just look at the big one from 150, which was the 21st of October. So Euro Yen, 21st of October. 440 off of a 96 ADR. Aussie Dollar Yen. You got a move of 284 off of a 75. But look at the difference in the move on the Aussie. There. Yeah. Huge whipsaw up and then a big move down and a reset. Yeah. difference in relationships between the Australasian pairs, which obviously trade during the Asian session. A lot of the Asian banks are Australia, New Zealand, and Japan. Heads up, yeah, they don't get hit as hard, do they? The Aussies and the so you want to be trading European pairs, CAD as well. Yeah, CAD will get very much the same impact on that move, which is 353 off of a 76 ADR. So they're very similar. Doesn't matter what you trade, it will all come down. Everything will come down against the yen if it happens. So you don't need to worry about what you're in. But the US dollar yen will obviously get the biggest brunt of it, because the whole purpose of it is to bring the US dollar yen exchange rate down. So the money comes out of the US dollar into the yen. Yeah, because they are transacting in Japan in US dollar as well. So they're pulling it out of that to buy that. So this comes down at the same rate as that goes up, which means you get the biggest move on the US. And the US coming down drags the Canadian dollar. So therefore, that's the second biggest, followed by whatever's going to be the weakest. So before I started this conversation, what I was going to say was go to Financial Juice, look at the currency strength meter, and see what the weakest thing at the moment is out there. It's this dark blue one. The Australian dollar is the weakest, followed by the New Zealand dollar, followed by the pound. So if you're going to trade anything that isn't going to be an Aussie or New Zealand cross with the yen, you want to be trading the pound short. That's the one that at the moment is the weakest European or Western currency, basically. We'll see. May happen, may not. But if it does, R1 in. And I am in. Didn't get the reversal alert, look. So obviously we have half an hour to go yet. So this candle, at the moment, this candle is going to cause the reversal alert. So there's your structure break. So that was the last batch of sellers before the high. So these guys that tried to take control of the market there got their buddies on board. So there's your breaking structure. Sellers take control. But it doesn't necessarily start with that. And it's not necessarily going to happen today. Top Boy is great. You're dead very fast. Yeah, it's brilliant. I'm on season 3. One of my friends at my spin class put me onto it, and he said, before you watch Top Boy, because it's 3 seasons, you've got to go and watch Summer House, which was shot in 2011. So it's really old, it's like 12 years old. So we binge watched Summer House in a whole weekend because it was that good. And then we straight on. So basically we've done Summer House and we're into season 3 of Top Boy. Within 2 weeks, we've been binging it literally every night, multiple episodes. Everything else has just fallen by the wayside. So good. Right. And the worst thing is, right, I got kids at school, 13 and 15. Yeah. They come home, right, and they see us watching Top Boy. We obviously pause it. But they come in and go, oh, you're watching Top Boy? Yeah, everyone at school's watched that. You're like, well, no wonder we've got a knife crime problem in the UK in schools. If they're all watching Top Boy, it's basically about the drugs trade in London and everybody getting shot and stabbed constantly. So if the kids at school, which are 13, are watching this, which is clearly an 18, Netflix has got a slight problem, hasn't it? Or the parents have got a slight problem allowing them to watch it. But anyway, that's TV. There's my review of Top Boy. Go watch it. Right. That's all I got for you this morning. So DAX, nice break today. Very easy money on the pre-market. Break to the downside. Happy days. And everything else kind of starting to look like we might get a little bit of a move underway. Yeah. So things are starting to move. The good news is we seem to be getting a little bit of volatility entering back into the market, which is good because we've had ADRs lit up for 2 days in a row now. So yeah. Didn't see Summer House. Wow. Amy, if you haven't seen Summer House, I was told under no instances or circumstances should I watch Top Boy if I haven't watched Summer House, because Top Boy won't make any sense unless you've watched Summer House. If you've gone straight into Top Boy, I mean, basically Summer House is the backstory to Top Boy. It tells you why we are watching Top Boy. Got to watch Summer House. If you go back now and watch Summer House and you've watched all of Top Boy, you'll be like, now it all becomes clear. So I had to watch Summer House first. I was told not to watch Top Boy first. But actually, after watching Top Boy, it's pretty much independent. You get the gist of what's going on very, very quickly. But the relationship between the two main characters is established in Summer House. Top Boy, layer cake comes to mind. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's very similar, but it's just, different. It's all about the suburbs, basically, in London, and the gangs. Very good. Anywho, and after I've watched that, I shall be on to something new. Haven't decided what to watch yet. Ahsoka's next, I think. Right. I'll be back this afternoon at 2:20 for the US session. We'll see how we're getting on with the US indices. Obviously, we'll see what FX movements we've had today. As I say, there's no news today to worry about until 3 o'clock, which comes after the New York Open. So we'll be focused on consumer confidence this afternoon. That's the first thing we've got news-wise. We may get some move off of the house price indexes, but probably not. So yeah, that's your only news today. There's no other news to worry about today. So I'll be back this afternoon. So we'll trade the US indices, see if we can milk a bit more out of them. And yeah, we'll see where we get on with the FX. And hopefully we'll get these moves that have started this morning continuing. So nice ADRs would be good today. And all of these RSIs to get undone would be fantastic. But we'll wait and see. All right, so back tomorrow morning, 7:50 for the Frankfurt session. And obviously 2:20 this afternoon for the US. If you need anything, I'll be in Telegram. And yeah, I will see you guys on the next session. Have a good one.